Hey kids, guess what? Guess where I am today? A super special place, the U.S. Space and Rocket Center in Huntsville, Alabama. And I'm gonna show you all the cool things here. And look at this space shuttle. We are going to learn all about space and astronauts. And guess what? We're gonna see some real live space equipment. So come on, let's go explore. Hey kids, have you ever wondered what it's like to be an astronaut? Check out these spacesuits. Aren't they so cool? Some of these are really old. I think that would be fun, don't you? A spacesuit can weigh up to 280 pounds. That's as much as a female black bear. But when astronauts are in space, they feel weightless, so it's not as heavy as it sounds. Astronauts have to practice wearing them for hours. Astronauts train in big pools called neutral buoyancy pools to practice moving around in their suits underwater, like they would in space. Spacesuits help astronauts do their jobs safely in space. Here is Astronaut Ryder. This is Astronaut Frankie. Check out Astronaut Steven and Astronaut Daisy. And don't forget Astronaut Logan and Astronaut Callie. And then Astronaut Gigi. The first room you come to is this big room, and there are cool rockets to check out, and of course the spacesuits that we already looked at. And then you come up the stairs here, and there's some hands-on stuff that you can do. There is an earthquake simulator and a tornado simulator that you can play with, and then you can float scarves through all these cool tubes and watch them fly through the air. So you have to check out this part of the Space Center. I am about to go on a simulation of a space station. Check this out. So cool. Now, how would you like to eat this space food? I don't know. It doesn't look too good to me. Getting ready to take off. Oh boy, this is a space toilet. I'm not quite sure how it works. I don't think I want to try it though. All systems are go. Let's go to the moon. One of the things you won't want to miss is a ride on the hyper ship. I can't wait. That was so cool!
Another fun thing to try is the wind tunnel.
Hey kids, I'm outside now at Rocket Park, and it's called Rocket Park for a reason. There are all kinds of rockets out here.
This really tall rocket is called Saturn I. The one right in front of it is called a Mercury Redstone. Next is the Jupiter C rocket. The slightly shorter one is called Juno 2. The rocket that says U.S. Army is a Redstone rocket. The last rocket on the right is called Jupiter IRBM. IRBM stands for Intermediate Range Ballistic Missile. Now let's look at other things in Rocket Park.
We all live in a yellow submarine, a yellow submarine, a yellow submarine. Except they didn't live in this yellow submarine. They used this submarine to go into the ocean to get the missiles out of the ocean. That's pretty cool. Now I am in the Saturn V Hall, and this is all dedicated to the fact that we landed on the moon. And there's all kinds of fun things that you can touch and play on and look at. And I'm going to take you inside a module that took 3 astronauts to the moon.
This is the Saturn V rocket. It is the tallest, heaviest, and most powerful rocket ever flown. This rocket is 363 feet tall. That's like stacking 36 school buses on top of each other. The Saturn V rocket carried astronauts including Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins on the historic Apollo 11 mission that landed the first humans on the moon in 1969. The U.S. Space and Rocket Center has more than 1,500 artifacts related to space exploration, along with interactive exhibits that you'll want to check out.
So this is a quarantine center, and any scientist or astronaut that was exposed to a disease had to stay in this quarantine center. And as you can see, it is pretty tight spaces in here. They had to eat in here and sleep in here, and it is really tight.
After astronauts returned from the Apollo moon missions, they had to stay inside the MQF, or Mobile Quarantine Facility, for 21 days. This was to make sure they didn't bring any unknown space germs back with them.
This is the Apollo 16 command module.
2 astronauts stayed in the command module, while 2 went down to the moon in the lunar module that is shown on the right. Apollo 16 was the 5th mission to land on the moon, and it took place in 1972. The mission lasted 12 days. The astronauts spent 3 days on the moon and 9 days in space. They spent a total of 71 hours on the moon, and they walked around collecting rocks and doing experiments. The astronauts brought back over 200 pounds of moon rocks, which helped scientists learn a lot about the moon's surface and its past. The lunar rover was used for the first time on Apollo 16. They drove the lunar rover on the moon's surface, zooming around and exploring a much larger area than on previous missions.
This is the lunar excursion module that went out on the moon. And check out this cool rover. That was a Land Rover that went all over the moon. Isn't that so cool?
Well, we've had a lot of fun today checking out the U.S. Space and Rocket Center, and now I think it's time I checked out this shuttle.
I am about to blast off! Check out this crater! It's like I've landed on the moon!
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
So tell me about Space Camp. How do I get to come to Space Camp?
Well, the only thing you have to do to come to Space Camp is sign up and come. So
Awesome.
We have Space Camp, 3 different types of Space Camp. We have Space Camp for kids who are 9 to 18 years old.
Oh, wow.
And they get to come and spend an entire week here and do all kinds of fun, immersive space activities. They get to become an astronaut.
Oh, nice. Do we get to go to the moon?
Yes, actually you
All
do.
right.
You get to go to the moon, you get to go to the International Space Station, or you even get to go to Mars.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah, and so sometimes you're the astronaut and sometimes you're the really important people who are in mission control, helping the astronauts have a successful mission in space.
That sounds cool.
It's
I'm not
so
sure which
fun.
would be better. I think I'd want to go to Mars, though.
Well, you know, that's the thing about space camp. You learn that even if you don't want to be the astronaut, because some people don't, there are many ways you can be involved in space exploration.
Are you interested in Space Camp? Check out the link below.
Thanks for joining me today at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center in Huntsville, Alabama. I had so much fun, and I hope you did too. Let's blast off to the moon just one more time. 3, 2, 1, blast off!